Alright, so in the last lesson we went over inputting and outputting text to the terminal. So now we're going to focus on some basic data types. So I have created a new directory called tutorial2, and in it I made a file called data.cpp, which is our C++ file titled data. So we're going to want to do the same thing here as we started off with last time. Do hashtag include iostream. And we can do the same include string. You don't have to, but here we're going to want to do names using namespace standard again, and then we want to do int main and brackets. And so this is one thing I did mention before, is it's a int function, so it's technically supposed to return int data type. So you could just do return 0 here and give us some extra room. So now the data types that we have in C++, there's a lot of them, but we're going to focus on the numbers that you need to start off with first, which is going to be floats, ints, and doubles. Floats and doubles have involved decimals. Integers is just whole numbers. So first then be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, but no decimals, no 1.5, no 2.3, that's off limits here. And so to declare an integer type, you're going to type int, and then whatever variable you want to have. So we can do int a equals 5, not 5.0, because that can't be an integer. So int a equals 5. We can do int b equals 4, and then we can just declare int. Well, we can skip that for now. So we can do the basic operations that you know of. It can be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and it can also do remainders, but we'll get to that in a minute. So here, let's do int c. Int c is we'll start off with addition, so int c equals a plus b. So we can save that, and we're going to have to do the same thing again here where we compile it. So we're going to do g++ -o, whatever executable it's going to be. So let's call this operations, because we're going to learn about the operations. And then we're going to want to do data for me, data.cpp, and that will compile it, and then /operations. And now that we have that, well, I forgot something. We actually have to output that. So cout c end line. So now we can save that and run it again. Compile it first and then run it again. So now we have 9. So 5 plus 4 equals 9. That's what we expected. So now we did addition. So let's do the same thing again. We can do subtraction. So now we have int c equals a minus b. Save that, compile it, and run it, and we get 1. 5 minus 4 equals 1. And then just go on to multiplication, a times b. So it's going to be 4 times 5. We expect it to be 20, and it was right. But so we basically we've done addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So now we get to the division, which is kind of tricky since we're using integers, because if you divide 5 by 4, what do you expect? Should be show in the calculator. We do 5 divided by 4, and we expect 1.25. Now, as I said, int type integer can't have a decimal, so see, what do you expect it to be? It could either be 1 or it could be 2, but I know the answer to that. So compile that again and run it, and what do we get? We get 1, because it's going to floor the answer. So since it should be 1.25, it's going to floor it down to 1. Next operation you can do is remainder. So a divided by b is going to be the remainder when you divide. If you take 5 divided by 4, So if you do 5 divided by 4, you would take out the 4 and then you would have 1 left over, which, you know, it's pretty much going to look the same as the last time when we did the division, so it'd be 1. So if we do, say, 10 divided by 3, it should be the same thing. It'd be 3, 3, 3, and you'd have 9, and there'd be 1 left over because you can't fit another 3 in there. So compile that again, run it, and 1. So feel free to mess around with these. It's integers, whole numbers, pretty easy to remember. So we can also, what we can do is we can string more of these together. So we could do 10 divided, not 10, we could do A times B right here, and that's 10 times 3. What do we expect? 30. Pretty simple. Now we can also add another one, so say we do times B again. So now we save that, compile it, and run it, and 90. So what we're getting here is A times B, which is 10 times 3, 30, and then 30 times B, which is 3. So 30 times 3 equals 90. And you can keep doing that. Say we want to add something else in there, let's do divided by A again. So what do you think this should be? So we strung multiple ones together, so we have 10, A equals 10, B equals 3, so that means here we get A times B, which will be 10 times 3 times 3 divided by 10, so 30. So then we get 30 divided by 30 times 3, which would be 90, divided by A, which should be 10, should be 9. And that's how that works. And we can also add in the pluses, and let's do minus B. So as you can see, that's going to give us a new number, 27. So we can just string around with these, play around with them, do whatever you want. Type in some stuff. Now another thing we can do is add in parentheses. So it's going to follow the order of operations properly. So you could also, you know, parentheses, exponents. Well, exponents aren't, we don't really have any of those right here. Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So first thing it's going to do here is going to be B plus B. So now we have a 6 there, and you know, you can figure out what you think that's going to be, and it comes out to 3. So now we can also put some numbers in here like this. So let's take that out. So now we have A divided by A minus B, but say we want to do 10 plus 3. So now you can see we're not really using any variables, we're just doing 10 and 3, and there we get 13. And then we can mix in our variables with that here. So now we got B plus 3. So B equals 3, 3 plus 3 should equal 6. So you can toy around with that for a little bit, and it's pretty simple right here. The only thing you really need to worry about with integers is that they are, since they're whole numbers, the division might be tricky. You get used to it though. Just divide it. Just go into your calculator if you're not sure, and do 9 divided by 7, and since it's 1.2, it'll round down to 1. So we can try that. We just make 9 divided by 7, save all, recompile it, and rerun it, and you get 1. So pretty simple there. You'll catch on to the division fast. If you think that's going to be an issue, don't worry about it. So that'll conclude the lesson on integers, and next we'll be back with doubles and floats.